All right, bang, bang. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Today I am joined by two jewelers, Rick and Dave. They own Norwich Jewelers. Guys, thanks for doing this. How we doing?
Doing good.
Thanks.
So, obviously wanted to bring you in. We were trying to do around Valentine's Day. It didn't work out, but it's something that I think a lot of young guys, or women, whoever, is interested in because a lot of people don't really know what they're doing when they walk into the shop, I assume, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's kind of first get into it. Like, how did you guys get into the business? What's your guys' deal right now?
Family. Our father's uncle, our great uncle, probably over 100 years ago, he had Kohler Jewelers downtown Chicago, Wabash and Madison, and he brought my dad and uncle into it, and in turn brought my brother and cousins, and we're all family at Norwich Jewelers, Kohler Jewelers, so it was definitely a family business.
Okay, and then so from what I understand, there's two arms of the operation.
Yep. I handle the retail arm in Norwich, and my brother does the grunt work, the behind-the-scene work of it. I get all the glory, and he does all the work.
So how'd you decide on that?
Luck.
Older brother, younger brother.
Oh, yeah?
Older brother got the dirty job. The younger brother got the pretty job.
So what does that mean, the grunt work?
That I get the jobs in, and I don't go home until the job is completed. He's the one that deals with
the customers. I deliver the jobs and
takes
I
all
get
the credit.
glory.
So explain a standard job.
So if a customer comes into the store and, for example, a ring that wants to be made, I'll go through the process of helping the customer design it, figure out how, what, cost, things of that nature, and then that's when I forward it to my brother downtown, which is the wholesale end of the business, which does all the diamond setting and all the labor end of the work.
Gotcha, and then you take care of all that.
So then, when they go there, they give him a design that he wants, and he sends me pictures, 2, 3, 4 pictures, and we kind of design the ring, make a CAD design of it, get it back to the store then. He shows the customers. They okay it, and then it comes back down, and we put the diamonds all in their file, polish the ring, set the diamond, and he gets the finished product back and gets all the glory then.
And is this how majority of it's done, or do most people do it in the back?
We also have a shop in the back that we do work for, but again, we're blessed to have the full operation downtown Monday through Friday, and our retail store is working from Tuesdays through Saturdays. So we've got the best of both worlds.
So I know how, obviously I know how a jewelry store, the retail end, it looks. What does your end look like behind there?
So then the other side is almost all jewelers will tell you that they do some work on premise, whether it's changing a battery, but most of them don't actually do the hands-on work, and they all job it out to a shop somewhere throughout the United States, because some of the shops I do work for are in Denver, Colorado. I have 2 stores out there that ship the merchandise back here to Chicago to size, set, and repair chains, and then we ship it back to them. A couple stores in Wisconsin and a store in Indiana. So that's kind of what we do is we're basically like a car mechanic. You tell us what you need. Your brakes are bad or this is bad. A diamond falls out, repair a chain. They send it. We basically put it back together and ship it back to the stores, and the stores go from there. So like I said, we got it pretty both coming in the front door and going out the back door.
There you go. Now, is there any type of retail at your spot or no?
There's very, very little.
Oh, okay. Because you think downtown, you think like that's where people would be popping in, right?
Right. Well, and again,
Used to.
Yeah, true. Now, we were talking beforehand. Now that with COVID, you said everything's just
downtown's kind of a ghost town right now.
Completely a ghost town. So, what's break down kind of the items here? What's the majority of the store? Like, if you had to kind of percentage it, like what's rings?
The business used to be a lot of everything, but it's kind of narrowed down to engagement rings, wedding bands, and gift giving. Not as much as it used to be. We were fortunate during COVID when we were shut down. Our type of business was such that even though we were shut down for the 3-4 months, people who had diamonds to be reset and ring sizing and purchases to be made could push it back until we did reopen up. So we were very fortunate with that. But I'd say right now, big portion is my brother has 3 boys. I have 3 boys between the ages of 25 and 40. And they're all going through the engagement rings, wedding bands, that's been the huge part of our business.
So why did it change? And what did it change from? Like, what did it used to be?
You know, it used to be, I mean, it evolved because it used to be more fun at Christmas time.
Yeah.
And we went through the rough times of the, 208s and things of that nature. I think the people today, the younger people, jewelry isn't what it was to us back 20, 30 years ago. Kids today are a little bit more into the instant gratification of new iPhones, trips, things that they could do now, not as much as with jewelry. So,
because it was like necklaces and bracelets. Was that a bigger thing?
When I started in the business almost 40 years ago, Valentine's Day used to pump out 200, 300, 400 heart pendants. Now, if we do 2, 3 at Valentine's Day, that's a lot.
Really? Mm-hmm. Now, is that like fucking Tiffany's and shit that kind of ruined that, or
no? It's
just the evolution. It just, if you think about it, plus two, over the last several years, the price of gold has gone up. So to purchase things has gone up a bit, but just jewelry in general has changed for the 20 to 35-year-old person outside of engagement rings, wedding bands, things of that nature. Also, too, is that back in my day, and I'm 6 years old, it was kind of a way of showing your successes, buying your wife a pair of diamond earrings, a diamond tennis bracelet. There was kind of things that you went through a woman's jewelry collection that you purchased. Now it's, paying the mortgage. It's just different.
Yeah, and like you said, people are just Valentine's Day, they're getting an iPad instead.
Yeah. Or a box of candy.
Yeah.
I don't know how old you are, but Dominic's and Jewel used to give away chains if you bought enough groceries. And now that chain is $100. So that makes the cost of it so much more expensive, too.
Because people say, you must be really busy for Valentine's Day. And it's not the same. Valentine's Day is the perfect guy's makeup holiday because if they screwed up at Christmas time or they're in doghouse with their woman, Valentine's Day is the holiday right around the corner that they could make up on.
Wow. So having you on before Valentine's Day would have been like, hey, we're not even a Valentine's guys anymore.
No.
At all. Wow. It makes a lot of. I get it. It makes sense, just how things have changed. But that's just 2 or 3. I wouldn't have expected that number.
Yeah, no, totally. But I'll tell you what's interesting today, if we can change subject a little bit, is the diamond business, the natural diamond to the lab-grown diamond.
I got a lot of questions about that because we did a show on this too about the. I don't know if it's so much of a conspiracy as much as it is about the history of the diamond business and De Beers and all that shit. So please take it away.
Because what's interesting is, it's fun to hear on the radio, gentlemen, size does matter. From a jeweler who builds and creates and does, size doesn't always matter. Even for the little guys, quality does still count when it comes to diamonds. But with the lab-grown diamonds compared to the natural diamonds, about 3 years ago, we never really sold that many in the lab grown because we really didn't understand the product. And now I would say it's pushing maybe 60% natural to 40% lab grown. We have all boys in our family. My brother has 3 and I have 3. And if all the boys were getting engaged today, we would definitely push them towards the lab grown because we who've been in business our entire life can't tell the difference. The size, quality, cost-wise, you're looking at about 30 to 40% less.
Hey, let's take a quick break here and let's talk about our friends at Roman. I got the Roman swipes on deck here because thinking about baseball, thinking about, I'm thinking about proposing, I'm thinking about which ring I should buy. That's not going to help you in the midst of the moment, guys. It's just not going to help at all. So you got to stop that. You got to get over that. You got to get something that's clinically proven to help you, and that's Roman swipes. So Roman swipes, they're small, they're discreet. You can slip them in your wallet. I have them on video if you're watching the video version. It's definitely the way to go because they're effective, easy to use, and fast acting, but they don't require prescription. Roman swipes, you swipe it on, you let it dry, you're good to go, that's it. So you just rip it off, you tear it off like you're putting on a condom. But before you do, just swipe one of these on. And you could go get these by going to GetRoman.com/walk. And you can get your first month of swipes for just $5 when you choose a monthly plan. That's GetRoman.com/walk. Go get your swipes, people. It's only going to help you. You got nothing to lose. GetRoman.com/walk. go get the swipes. All right, let's hop back into the episode. So explain it really quick, because I think people would be like, what are you talking about?
Okay, so
lab grown, that sounds like the impossible one.
No, it's fake. Why would you want a fake diamond?
Exactly.
Why would you want a fake diamond? So a lab grown diamond basically came about 60, 70 years ago. They were able to recreate the growth of a diamond. And so if you can take a seed and plant it on a hill in a field and water and rain hits it, a flower grows. If you take that same seed and put it into a greenhouse and man waters it and man lights it, is it a flower? So kind of with the diamond, same general premises on that. One of the things with a lab grown, you could go down the way of saying it's green, you're not killing people, conflict diamonds, things of that nature. But I also add is, like I said, for my sons, if they were getting engaged, I would highly recommend going that way. If I had a daughter, I appreciate you, Eddie, but I prefer a natural diamond on my daughter's finger. Yeah. And basically what is the American market has really pushed the diamond to be the woman's best friend and things of that nature. But like I said, we're doing really good. What do you think, Rick?
And if looking at the diamond brokers, they used to be 100% natural diamond. I would say right now, it was interesting when the lab started growing, a lot of brokers said, oh, it's never going to survive. It's not going to be around. And the guy's got $1 million, then $2 million, $3 million invested. And all of a sudden, then 4 brokers got it, 5 brokers. Now almost every broker in the city of Chicago carries lab-created diamonds. You know, and then you say, well, is it here to stay? You know, De Beers is going to squash it and make it go bye-bye. All these brokers would not be handling lab-created diamond if it was going to go bye-bye. If they're going to drop the price, you know, it's kind of like people say with, you know, they're going to build more and more machines, so they're going to make more and more diamonds. It's going to get the cost down. Well, hey, we could do more oil refineries and get the gasoline to come down, but how come we only got 5 or 6 in the United States?
Yeah.
You know, so again, somebody controls the market, and there's a market there that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Now, do they deteriorate faster?
No, it's a diamond.
It's exactly like a diamond. Weighs a diamond, cuts like a diamond.
So then why would you say if I was giving it to your daughter, why would it matter?
Old school.
Because it would be my daughter. That's why it would be my daughter. I appreciate it, but it's my daughter.
It's a status. Okay. I understand.
What's interesting, though, going forward is, you know, if you have a girl who gets a 1-carat diamond for $4,000 cost, you get a carat and a half, maybe a little bit bigger in a lab grown. When these two girls go to a party and they each show their new engagement ring, my question is, are they going to say, well, mine's natural and yours only a lab?
No.
You know?
Yeah.
Are we in ABC studios here, or are we in a little room in the back office? Nobody really knows, right?
Yeah, nobody knows.
This is a great
big time.
Oh, wow.
You see the movers blanket. It might tip some people.
No, is that the Chicago River?
Exactly. Man, because like I said, we've done a show before. We do like certain days of the week, we do like a little conspiracy thing or like history thing. And that's when we learned that is the diamond market is very monopolized. Or at least it was.
Well, and what's happening now a little bit is that the supply of natural diamonds is slowing down, thus creating a shortage of natural diamonds. So the natural diamond pricing is still pretty strong out there. What we don't know, though, is in 10 years, is the production of lab-grown going to be so great and the price going to come down? Is that going to cause a conflict of, you know, are you going to get a $1,000 diamond that used to be $5,000 or a natural diamond is $10,000? We don't know that, but at the end of the day.
Might theory is if more and more brokers are carrying it, investing more and more money, why are they going to let that market go away?
Yeah.
There's too much money out there.
The key is going to be what the conglomerate diamond, the De Beers of the world, how they're going to handle it going forward, whether they're going to jump into the market or try to block the market and lower prices and things of that.
So let's go there, De Beers. Do you guys, as jewelers, as local jewelers, do you guys like De Beers?
De Beers is like saying Chevy, Ford, GMC, and Tesla.
Yeah.
They want to destroy Tesla because as Tesla gets bigger, their market's dwindling. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much what De Beers does. And they're one of the few huge companies out there that control so much.
Well, they're the ones, and we talked about this in the show, after the Depression, they were the ones that kind of got the slogans and kind of made this business a business, correct?
Yes.
Correct, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And they got all the control.
So
Big
is
brother.
that so? This genetically modified one has kind of helped you guys, I would assume, right?
It's a lab diamond.
Why is that?
It's the same.
It's the same.
It just, man is able to speed up the process of making it.
And De Beers does have interest in.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
okay, so they're not completely shut out.
No, I believe they're almost 50% of the.
Okay, so if they want to pivot completely tomorrow, they could do it.
And again, why? Because there's enough market out there, they could have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Just like GMC, they're all starting up electric cars now and everything like that to compete with Tesla because they know that's where the market's going. So you got the people that still want the natural because they think that's the way to go, and you got the other people that think, what's wrong with the lab crate? If it's a diamond too, you got them coming and going again.
Yeah. Man, and then, so is it one of those things where De Beers how close hand to hand are you working with the De Beers guy?
We do not. And De Beers is like we're like a little pebble. Not even a pebble. We're a little crumb compared to De Beers. I mean, you're talking totally opposite spectrums.
And do they run like big
but they handle the world diamond supply. Okay, so we're not, you're talking the world diamond supply. They are the top of it, of that food chain. So,
okay, yeah, because I just reading about that and seeing how they shape the market. It was pretty fascinating if you look at all the history of it. And for you being on the retail side, is it? It's kind of an advantage that you have to deal with less people because your margins are so much higher. Right?
Well, the beauty for us being a family business. The customers that come in, we've been in retail for 45 years, the referral business and the word of mouth, and just a trust factor. I mean, that is the biggest key in any business that you have, especially in the jewelry business, is I would have to say probably 9 out of 10 people who we see are going to buy from us because it's a word of mouth. You're going to get service and quality and,
trust.
Right. So that's the beauty of our business.
So, you very much rely on being someone's guy. Like, hey, I got a jeweler guy.
I got a guy who's got a guy.
Yes, exactly.
Eddie, you got a guy.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the big thing. You don't just walk into those places in the
and you come across.
Plaza.
You're right. You come across some people who don't want to be the person who's totaled by the guy. They want to be the guy who's got a guy. Mm-hmm. And so have at it.
That's where COVID's come in a little bit because people don't shop as much as they used to. So that word trust and, hey, I got a guy, they don't go out to 2-3 guys. They go who their buddies have gone to or cousin or family goes to, and they go there because they're pretty much done. And I think COVID did something, too. Is it seems like engagement ring sales have been kind of booming since COVID started. I don't know, because people are in the house together more and more, and couples are together, and it's like, well, if we're going to be together like this for the next couple of years, we might as well get married. But the engagement ring sale is kind of
one
boomed.
thing that I take pride in is in my approach of selling people is I love to tell them that the good news is I'm going to educate you. Mm-hmm. The bad news is I'm going to educate you. So the better I educate you, unfortunately, the more it's going to cost you because the more you're going to realize and see and understand why things cost more. And my goal and our goal as, brothers in the jewelry business is when you walk out of our store, we want you to understand why you spent what you spent on what you got, whether it be lab, whether it be natural, whether you spend $3,000 or you spend $15,000. We want to educate you of, why you're buying what you're buying.
All right, that's great. So let's try to educate then. So if someone walks in, what's usually the first question they ask you?
For me personally, the first question I want to ask them is the last question I ask them. Eddie, are you married?
No, I'm not.
If you're coming in the store to buy an engagement ring, the first question we want to ask you is how much you want to spend, basically so we know where you're going, what shape, things of that nature. So what we do is we try to go backwards into it, what shape, what size, what type of mounting, whatever. Here's a 1 carat size diamond that's going to cost you roughly about 3 to 5. Here's a carat and a half. Here's 6 to 8. Here's a carat, to the point of, okay, now I'll ask you my final question. Kind of where do you want? Well, I want roughly around a carat and a half. Well, that means you're looking between $6,000 and $10,000, whatever. So, because we need to know what you're interested in, because we don't want to show you a $5,000 when you want to spend a $3,000. Or 3,000 when the opposite. So So, we'll work within your means, and then that's where our education of the diamond itself, the 4 C's of color, clarity, carat, and cut comes into it. So,
that was the 4 C's: color, clarity, color,
and cut.
All right, I said that twice.
Color, clarity, carat weight, and cut.
Okay.
But and that's where you start getting more into technical. For us, I think the more important thing about any diamond, I would say, is color. Right, Rick?
Yeah. And can I go back to the lab created? The lab created, when they create a rock, it's exactly like a diamond is created in the ground. It comes out D color, E color, SI1, SI2. It comes out exactly the same way. So they get graded the same way. The big grading company out there is GIA. GIA just started grading labs. They said labs aren't real diamonds. We're not going to grade them. Well, they realized they're losing so much money. All of a sudden, GIA now is grading lab diamonds. So again, when everybody says it's going to go away or it's going to shrink, everybody's getting on board onto it. So for it to go away, it's not going to go away.
Were you guys slow to get on board?
I would say so, because we didn't understand. It was new, and once you understood what it was, we give it the option to the customer. Though what I also do is, some people don't know about lab grown, and they'll come in and say, no, I don't want a lab grown. But what's interesting is, it's not that you're trying to get something cheaper or less. Guys who come in the store and want to spend $10,000 for a diamond engagement ring, whether it be natural or lab, bring your girlfriend in, bring your fiance in, put the money on the counter and say, do you want a 1.25 carat natural diamond, or you want a 2.5 carat lab? I'm spending $10,000. I want you to be happy, because that's one thing that is 100% true. Happy wife, happy life. So it's not that you're trying to cut corners or do something cheaper. It's something that it's an option to, which way you want to go.
Do you buy a brand new car? Do you buy a used car with 2 years old? Do you buy a used car 4 years old? I mean,
what's better, a used Cadillac or a brand new Chevy?
Yeah, and a lot of people don't look at jewelry that way. Right.
And not that a lab is a used product by any mean, but it's just an alternative. Another thing that I say as a comparison is that if you've got a Gucci purse or a Louis Vuitton purse, if you're able to get the same material and same quality of leather, and you're able to have it made at another shop, is it Louis Vuitton or not? Just because Louis Vuitton makes it in their own factory, does that make it different than if we took that same material and made it in another factory? Kind of, sort of. Because we try to use analogy with it. Just a way to give our customers another option in picking out.
What turned me on to the labs is I was kind of against it, because I said, it's not real. Kind of old school, you want real. Nowadays everything's coming out and duplicating things. It's not real. I want real. And kind of like Dave said, if my daughter, I'd want real. And then I had one guy bring one in that he wanted to sell, that he bought someplace else. And I took it out of the mounting, and I took it to the 2 brokers and said, customer wants to trade this in. What's it worth? The 2 brokers looked at it and were going to give me $2,000 more than the guy paid for it, because they didn't realize it was a lab-created diamond. And that's when I go, wait a minute. If nobody could tell, why are we spending all this money? And kind of like Dave said, you start going to the guy and said, where do you want to spend the money? What do you actually want to have? I don't think there's too many guys that said, I'll spend more money for a girl. Hey, if I could save a couple $1,000, $5,000, and still impress her, oh my God, maybe this is the right way to go. Because there's so many things nowadays that you need. You can't eat a diamond, you can't fly in a diamond, you can't live in a diamond, but you're going to spend how much money? And I still love the guy that comes in and says, my girlfriend said I got to spend 2 months of my earning on a diamond. And I smile and go, what do you do for a living?
What's the truth on that?
I would say what's happening now is 10, 15 years ago, the age of people getting engaged was younger. Now more people are finishing school, moving downtown for 2-3 years, where 10, 15 years ago, between the ages of maybe 22 and 25, now it's 28 to 30. So they're definitely waiting. And because they're waiting and they're more established in their career, the amount of money that they're paying for engagement rings is higher. But, whether that's based on their income or not, I don't know that. But it also depends on the girl's family, who you're looking to impress, type of a thing. But that's where the curveball comes in with the lab grown. is you can get a much bigger, better looking stone for less money on the lab growns.
All right, everybody, we're a little long here, so we're going to stop it. We're going to split it into 2 parts. So we'll be back tomorrow with part 2 with the jewelry shop owners.